My name is Chuck Pettis. I'm the owner and creator of Earth Sanctuary. Well, Earth Sanctuary is a peaceful and magical place that combines art and spirit to create a place for not only humans, but also all the animals and wildlife here, and hopefully to lead them along the path to enlightenment. I bought this property in 2000. It's 72 acres. When I got it, you needed a machete to go anywhere. It was all overgrown with blackberries. So all the paths and sacred spaces you see here we've created in the past 24 years. We have a 500-year plan to return this property to a mature old-growth forest with hopefully maximum diversity of species. I've written a book called Secrets of Sacred Space that basically is a book about how to create places of power and spirituality. So this is my sculpture garden. And my plan is for it to continue on for 500 years. I have a plan in my will, if not before, to put this place in a conservation easement so it won't be developed, and to transfer it from an LLC, which I now own, to a nonprofit organization. Well, I've been in the branding and marketing business for my career, and I've done a lot of work with nonprofit environmental organizations. And I also know we're losing lots of species. There's lots of problems around the world over which I have no control. So rather than get all stressed out about those places, I decided I would focus on this 72 acres and try do an exemplary job to restore it and to create a beautiful habitat for the birds, the wildlife, the fungi, the plants, all the beings that live here. I would say the first highlight is it's very peaceful. People who come here in about 5 minutes generally get quite peaceful. There's a lot of kind of magical things done here to create opportunities for people to be mindful, to meditate, to pray, to have meaningful conversations, to get away from their problems, and to feel one with nature. So a lot of the sacred spaces, people leave little offerings like a coin or a crystal or an artwork, or for people who are sober, they leave little markers that they've been sober. So I particularly like those. It's so great to provide a place for people who are in recovery to come and have a feeling of being high in a natural way. So there's a book called Laws of Form by G. Spencer Brown that talks about it's kind of the highest calculus in mathematics. And one of them is that when you juxtapose opposites, they cancel out and create a void, which then creates an opportunity for a higher level of experience, for a transcendental experience. So we do opposites quite a bit here. So all the spaces here have a north, south, east, west alignment. We also, underneath all the sacred spaces, we put stones or crystals or minerals that are the opposite or the complement of the above ground stone. So this is a Montana hard sandstone, and underneath each of these stones are marble. In addition, we also put quartz crystals underneath the stones because way back when I was learning about this in the 70s, most of the ancient monuments have crystals underneath them, and the crystals seem to amplify the energies. So the goal is to do as much good as we can, to be generous, kind, patient, and do whatever we can to make other people happy. So I would say that's one of my key goals at Earth Sanctuary, is to provide a place that makes people feel happy, whole, mindful, connected to nature. I would hope that the energy and the magic and peacefulness of Earth Sanctuary transfers beyond the property lines. You know, we have prayer flags that are blowing prayers of loving kindness and compassion, so wherever those winds goes, those prayers and those blessings go. You know, when you spin the prayer wheels have prayers inside them for loving kindness and compassion, and when you spin the prayer wheel with an intention of may all beings be happy, may all beings be free of suffering, it sends happiness and relief of suffering to all beings in all realms. The prayer wheel over there by the dolmen and by the cottonwood stone circle have 1.3 trillion prayers in them. So every time you spin one revolution, 1.3 trillion prayers for happiness and relief of suffering go off to all beings. That's a lot of prayers. If you said a prayer second nonstop, it would take you over 40,000 years to say one revolution of those prayer wheels. So that's Tibetan magic. Tibetan magic is an altruistic practice to wish for the happiness and do everything you can for the happiness of others. Well, you know, I think diversity of spirituality and religion is really important. Pretty much all the religions and spiritual paths go to the same place. And so I remember I was in Central Park once listening to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And he said, don't even talk about Buddhism to people unless they ask about it. Instead, encourage them to do the spiritual path of religion of their culture, of their family. So by having different traditions and different blessings by different spiritual leaders here, it creates the opportunity for people of different cultures and spirituality to have a moment of insight or realization or inspiration. Religion and spiritual are pretty close in terms of synonyms. I prefer spiritual rather than religious. So in my branding business, we once did a research study of the cultural archetype of religion. And in that we ask, okay, what do you think of when you think of religion? And then we say, well, if you're a child, tell me a story once upon a time, or tell me a story about religion. And about half the people had positive, uplifting memories and stories about religion in their lives, but the other half had really harmful, hurtful feelings. They'd been embarrassed, they'd been put down, they'd been hurt psychologically, maybe even physically. So there's that kind of negative component to religion that I'd rather avoid. So to me, spiritual captures the most positive aspects of religion, but without the negativity. They're all connected. You know, we have different levels here. We have physical, so we have diversity of plants and trees that we planted. There's the restoration we're doing, but there's also a spiritual aspect, and there's a whole spiritual hierarchy that's around us of devas and local deities and Buddhas and bodhisattvas and the landscape angel. And those are all spiritual beings that help all the different species of trees and plants and beings here survive and grow. And so everything I do here is actually done in cooperation with that spiritual hierarchy. So the sacred spaces that are created here and the nature here are designed to create an environment for people to be more aware of themselves and their mindfulness and what's going on, and to be more open to not a mundane experience, but a spiritual experience, to connect with, if they're here with another person, to connect with them in a more deep and loving and insightful, caring way. So it's really all about making a place, again, it makes people happy and helps them in some way to reduce the stress they have in their lives. So it's about altruism. You know, when I was in high school, I was into Ayn Rand. So Ayn Rand is like the priestess of egotism. So Ayn Rand, it's all about doing everything for yourself. And what I've learned through my spiritual practice is that it's not about me, actually, that if I want happiness, I'm way happier if I do something for you all, or do something for the wood ducks and the hooded mergansers here through bird nesting boxes, or to create a place where kids can talk to their parent in a way they haven't been able to talk before, or for people to come here and see a barred owl that they've never seen before. So it's really about others. And so I think one of the important things for people to know is that it's really important to make other people happy, and to be aware of that and avoid making them unhappy, trying not to get impatient, trying not to get angry, and to basically, if you're getting triggered, just take a break and do a meditation and calm down, and don't make somebody feel bad. Make them feel good. Well, I recommend that people have a meditation or a spiritual or religious practice. So in Catholicism, there are spiritual practices, and Christianity, there's spiritual practices, and Buddhism, there's spiritual practices. So I think it's important for people to do the spiritual practices of whatever spiritual path or religion they have. And I'm hopeful that Earth Sanctuary motivates people to do more meditation, not only here, but when they leave. So, one of the meditations I teach here is a meditation where you focus on your breath and you count up your breaths in 60 seconds. And that's a meditation that's so easy to do, easy to remember. And once you've done it once or twice, you realize that it really does calm you down. So my hope is that people will actually start doing more spiritual practices. And if they do more spiritual practices, they're going to be kinder, they're going to be more loving, they're going to be more sensitive about others, they're going to be more patient, and make a more beautiful family of all those around them.